This is Lucifer here, business and spiritual consultant, as always. And if you're wondering what is Lucifer doing on Earth, well, let me tell you. He's talking about everything that the Earth is made of, which is what business and spirituality. And yeah, so like I said before, you know, we got a quick preview. We got a little bit. I feel like demonologists like me should have a hellhound. I mean, like I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think a hellhound is very valuable to your process. I think it's a good idea. So far, I'm not disappointed. Since I had him, I wasn't disappointed. I think it's cool. I thought it was like the most badass thing ever. The first time I had it. Anyways, I didn't use him as much as I probably should have. Neither did I have that big of a reason to, anyways. But still, um, he's very effective. Easy to work with. Straight to the point. Evil as F. Like so. Um, of course, the good is evil, evil is good, whatever. So, yeah, like it. I would totally recommend a Hellhound, 100%. 100%. Um, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. But I do want to, because it's not a hellhound is not a common spirit that people use, so I do want to promote it more, and I think people should promote it more, since it's a thing, and it's actually powerful and useful. So I think it should be part of the program. Um, I'm not gonna tell you how to get one because you have to summon it. So if you know how to summon things, you should summon it. You should ask first how to get a hellhound. You should ask your patron. Basically, Lucifer is the one that's gonna give you a hellhound. So, however, is the way that you choose to get Lucifer to come and give you things. You should do that and ask Lucifer if you can have a hellhound too. Basically, so you should summon one. Because if I tell you how I got my hellhound, I would be telling you too much. So I'm not gonna do that. But I digress. Useful. Pass or gas. Definitely gas. Worth it. Um, Now that is said, I'm still amazed by how efficient this is. I'm still amazed by how efficient it is. And you've seen like whatever's going on with Waterboy over there, whatever's going on with him over there, it's a result. It's a result of the Hellhound. So, well, not right now. Whatever's happening right now with him is different from, you know, since yesterday. Because I already told you my hellhound came back home. Like when he came back home, I had a dream. I was dreaming. I was sleeping, and I dreamt like there was a big black dog in front of my house, and like my door is white. It was really cool. It was really awesome because my door is white, so it was like a very clear contrast of white on black. So there was like a big black dog just sitting there in the wait position, you know. Um, so it was just like sitting there in front of my home. So I knew he came back from whatever he was doing. Uh, so that was dope. That was like really awesome. Um, so yeah, But whatever's going on with him right now, if there is something going on with him right now, which obviously there is, because he's like, scrambling right now, and he's losing his shit too. Um, that's different. That's another spell that I cast, another curse that I cast. Um, so whatever's going on with him right now is not the result of the Hellhound. But I'm gonna wait for my because he's full, because I sent him after somebody else. So that's what, like, I sent my Hellhound after somebody else. That person felt it. Give me a second right now. Yeah. So I sent my Hellhound to eat. Um, so he like, I guess he was already half full, and then I didn't want to send it towards Waterboy, but I didn't. He didn't really leave me a choice. So I mean, I could have done something else, but I kind of like took advantage of it because you guys, there's probably a couple people that never seen a Hellhound in action. So I kind of took advantage of that, of took that opportunity to show you guys what a Hellhound can do. Um, so then he was already half full, I guess, and then I sent him to go do some stuff, and then he came back. So that means he's full. So I'm gonna wait a couple days um, until he's hungry again. Then I'm gonna send him back. I'm gonna send him back probably towards Waterboy, or maybe not. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. But I'll probably send him back towards Waterboy. Um, but I am doing something else on him too at the same time too. So I don't know if I'm gonna need to set him. I probably will. Um, so yeah, 2-3 months. 2-3 months. Supposedly, after 2-3 months, if because I know about magic, I'm not gonna play that role. Like, I'm not gonna reverse his sarcasm and stuff, but I'm gonna say I know about magic. But regardless, let's say that you guys don't believe that I know about magic, then I'm gonna follow his rules, and we're gonna compare notes. We're gonna see if after 2-3 months it's really gonna be like, he says it's gonna take 2-3 months. So let's say, so it's gonna take 2-3 months. So he's gonna start, supposedly he's gonna start feeling sluggish, and he's gonna look tired and stuff like that. So we're gonna see if that's true. Because it doesn't really matter if you're doing voodoo. Like, there's a lot of rules that remain the same in different magic systems, and especially for curses. Curses is mostly the same everywhere. Like, it doesn't really matter like what kind of magic system you use. Curses relatively have the same rules. Of course, there's some different thingamajigs here and there, but the result of a curse is basically the same. I never said anything about his money being messed up because of magic, which is one of the reasons why I feel like my bloodhound did have an effect on him, because he's not thinking clearly. I never said anything about my magic going to mess up his money. So since I see he's not thinking clearly, I can see, okay, so something's up, like like something's happening to the dude. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope you guys are taking notes of that little tidbit. I did this for y'all. I did this for y'all so that you may have a scientific point of view of things, and not just a superficial or romanticize aspect of things. Like, because some of you guys are scientists, man. So some of you guys look at these things on a scientific level. Some of you guys look at these things on a critical or common sense or logical level. So I'm trying to adhere to that part of your a persona. Speaking pun intended. No pun intended. Um, so another thing that I wanted to talk about, I did a video about Cain, and basically Cain is the original. He's the OG Red Lantern. Some people don't know what Red Lanterns are. A Red Lantern. If you guys like comic books, you know who Green Lantern is. Well, there's Red Lanterns too. Red Lanterns are basically the spirits of rage. You know, they're not bad guys. People, if you look at a comic book and you see a Red Lantern, you're gonna think they're bad guys, but they're not bad guys. They're just enraged. You know, so it's basically the same thing as being a Green Lantern, because the green energy is will, the red energy is rage. You know, and there are evil lanterns, but the evil lantern is actually yellow. So don't get fooled. Don't judge a book by its cover. Just because it's red doesn't mean it's evil. You know, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So you know, yeah. So he's the original, actual, real life Red Lantern. You know, and once you get, because you can harness that energy. You can harness Cain energy, and you know, that's very powerful. It's not just powerful, it's primordial, because you have to understand Cain is one of the first human beings ever to exist on Earth. He's actually the first human being, because Abel is actually younger than Cain. So he's actually the first human being on Earth. So the first human being on Earth is actually a vehicle for rage, which makes Cain very powerful. And I've noticed Hollywood has a clear obsession with Cain. I mean, the story of Cain is weird and obviously unfinished and not accurate. But the most important thing that people like or love, if those are the right words to say, is the mark of Cain. And as I told you before, in the video of OG Red Lantern, I have stated that I believe that Cain was in the right. I don't think murder is a good thing, but I don't think he murdered him. Maybe he killed him, because murder is different than killing. Murder is premeditated. Murder is a crime. Murder is voluntary. Murder is on purpose. You know, killing is not on purpose. Killing is a result of an action that brought end to the person or the being, the living being that was victim of your action, or whoever's action was involved. So I believe that Cain killed Abel, but I don't feel like he murdered Abel. And I think there's that's where it all falls down. That's where the cookie crumbles. Reason for that is because I like I told you before, God, if you know who and what the God is, you understand the God is a very jealous and weird, you know, entity, you know, rogue. It's a rogue and jealous entity. Like the God is a ghost in a shell. You know, humanity is a shell. Humanity is the cyborg. Humanity is the intelligence. Humanity is the is the mainframe. Is the base. You know, is the base where everything stems from. You know, or whatever, something along those lines, something like that. But the ghost in the shell is the other intelligence that was lingering in the darkness that no one noticed, you know. So I feel like basically what I'm trying to say is that basically what I'm alluding to is that the God also comes from the darkness, obviously. That's like duh, you know, because in the beginning there was nothing, yada yada yada, and then there was light, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. It's right there and then when they say in the beginning there was nothing and then there was light. That's a clear indication of his rogueness, right? Like it's a clear indication that yeah, darkness existed before me, and within that, I came out of that darkness with my light, you know, whatever that means. Um, so when we think about Cain being the first human, coming from two humans that got kicked out of this so-called paradise, this so-called Garden of Eden. So basically, because the thing is, they were kicked out of Earth, and if you read between the lines, Adam and Eve were kicked out of Earth, so they ended up in a different dimension, whichever that dimension is. They ended up in a different dimension. They wasn't living on Earth yet, and they found themselves back on Earth. And when they found themselves back on Earth, that's when they created humanity. That's where Cain and Abel existed. So I'm trying to set a playing field here, you know, as of the God had an eye on them and basically were meddling in their business. You know, it's unclear how it is, how it was possible for. Well, I guess what happened was because you have to understand, Lucifer was the real being. He was the real one. He was the real, you know, person. You know, God, or you know, he was the one that we were intended to follow. So it's unclear to what happened between how it's unclear why Adam and Eve lost track of Lucifer. Because after the incident in the Garden of Eden, Eve was still talking to Lucifer, but not Adam. Adam was walking around, doing who knows what, you know. And then eventually they came back together and stuff. So it's unclear where they lost communication with Lucifer. And it's unclear on. I feel like while Adam and Eve was learning from Lucifer, or just Eve, I don't know where Adam disappeared to, but while Eve was transforming into Lilith, I guess Cain and Abel were left to their own devices. So I don't know how that went about. Maybe it's just that maybe what had happened was they decided to follow this rogue entity, because this rogue entity took control of 70% of the choir of angels, or 70% of the choir of demons, 70% of the ultra gods. Let's put it that way, because angel is a weird word. It doesn't add up. It's not a real word. It's not the idea of an angel is absurd and doesn't make sense. I feel like it's a made up word. It's not. It doesn't sound legit. What I feel is that because demons are gods, the word demon is literally means gods. So going from angel that means absolutely nothing, from a demon that actually does mean something, to me it feels like, okay, this rogue entity took control of the light polarity, created a war, took away a big portion of the energy with him, and created this new movement. So this rogue energy, of course, we got free will. So I feel like maybe Cain and Abel, Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel all decided they only had access to the God. They didn't have access to Lucifer because Lucifer had just fought a war and was probably sharpening his knives in his den to get ready for another war. So while Lucifer was sharpening his knife, licking his wounds from the battle that ensued from the usurper, I felt like that's the reason why Cain and Abel wasn't able to have access to Lucifer like Adam and Eve did beforehand. So I feel like Cain, being his mother's child, grew up. Well, Cain, that was obviously luckier than Abel, because Cain actually had spent more time with his mom and dad, which is Adam and Eve. So he was smarter and or more aware. Maybe not necessarily smarter, but he was more aware. So I feel like that's where his rebellious nature came from. If we're gonna call that rebellious, because in the Bible it says, "Oh, he was only giving, the poorest stuff," but at the same time, he's right to give him the poorest stuff, because it shouldn't matter if you are a God of love, then it doesn't matter what I give you. Like, I don't need to give you my best things. Like, I can give you like a piece, like a peeled banana, and you'd be happy with it. You know what I mean? With no banana in it. Like, I'd eat the whole banana and throw you the banana, and you'll be happy with it, because you're a God of love. And I guess I'm gonna say something offensive and at the same time cool, offensive, and probably too big of a secret. And at the same time, you're gonna feel like I'm disgusting. And I hope I don't offend anybody by saying that, spirit, human, or God, at the same time. I really hope I don't offend anybody by saying that. I really hope. I don't. I really hope. Like, I'm serious. I'm serious as a heart attack when I say that. Some demons, you can give them like garbage, like literal like garbage. You can give them like literal garbage and they will be happy with it. And you, as a human, you're like, you tend to feel like, shit, this demon is a demon. You know what I mean? Like, he's eating garbage and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's happy with garbage and shit. And it's a demon. A demon is a demon. A demon is a monster. But a monster is a living being with a complicated nature. So you might see it as him just being a monster and just eating anything he can get his hands on, like fucking rabbit intestines and shit like that. But in actuality, it's because demons, pardon me for saying, and you might feel like I'm tripping. You might feel like I'm tripping and I'm just bugging out. But to me, in my opinion, demons are more loving than angels or whatever you give your offerings to. I feel like a demon, like a devil is more loving than a god, the god, the usurper. Because those guys will accept everything you give them. Doesn't matter what it is. And Cain, being the smart guy that he is, understood that if you are a loving God, then I don't need to give you the best of my fruits. You'll be happy with whatever I give you. You know what I mean? And I felt like, and when I was younger, I felt heretical and profane for feeling like that. So I never really talked about it. I mean, I did actually try to mention it, I think once or twice to maybe my sister or some shit, but very briefly and very fast, because I didn't even want to get into that conversation, in fear of what could happen if I said something like that. Like, I didn't want to get hit with lightning and shit like that, so I would like briefly insinuate it, but in in a way that doesn't divulge that that's what I'm trying to say, like, you know what I mean? So, but I was afraid to ask that question because I felt like, well, I mean, okay, yeah, he killed his brother. That's messed up. That is messed up. Okay, I give you that. But why did this entity, this god, wanted his things? Why did he want his best things? Why did he want his best things? And when you're small, you feel like you must be tripping when you're thinking about shit like that. So you just sit there with your hands crossed and your legs crossed, and you let everybody else talk, because you feel like, man, I'm tripping, I'm wilding, I'm on fucking drugs right now. You know what I mean? So you don't say shit. You just sit there and don't say nothing. So basically, I've always had some Cain energy, even as I was a kid, and this is relevant because I know that some people feel like, oh, he's been practicing since he's a kid, that's why, blah 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 blah. But no, that's not the reason why. I just told you the reason why. You know what I mean? Like, like, it's not. It wasn't. I wasn't born with it. It's just I just felt something was wrong. Like, I just felt like something was off about this. You know what I mean? So, we yeah. So, that Cain energy was around me whether you like it or not. And then you grow older, and then you practice witchcraft, and then you notice that, and then there's something, whether you practice voodoo. I'm not trying to help no voodoo people, but you practice demonology, you practice witchcraft as a whole, Enochian, and well, whatever. I mean, well, maybe not Enochian, Enochian, you gotta spend all kinds of money. But if you deal with spirits, most of the time, if you don't have shit, right? And I'm not the only one to say that. But most of the time, if you don't have nothing, you're poor as if. That does not mean that you cannot practice witchcraft. There's certain sorceries that you will not be able to practice. Maybe. Or certain spells that might be a bit too difficult if you don't have the thingamajigs that goes with it. Fine. But most of the time, a spirit, let's say a Hindu, because it's obvious if I say a demon, so I don't want to make it too obvious. That's why I don't pronounce demon. I don't like to make it obvious. I'm a kind of guy that tell too much secrets, so I don't want to add, I don't want to make it that obvious. So let's say you're dealing with like the other day, right? The other day I felt like something was wrong, right? So I call Kali. She comes, she cleans the place up for me, man. I'm super happy. I'm walking around. I'm super happy. I don't even know why I'm happy. I'm just feeling happy. I'm feeling clear-minded. Everything's great, right? So me as a seasoned practitioner, I'm like, I'm gonna get her an offering. I'm gonna give her an offering. I'm gonna put it. I got my demon table just because I can make a little space for her. I mean, like, she did help me out. So I'm not gonna put a whole thing. I'm not gonna put her picture and an icon or a little just a little offering. You know what I mean? And she likes dates. Not dates like going out dates, like dates like what a date is. So I go to the store, to the international store, to go get some dates. I get there, and there's only one pack of dates, and there's literally just one pack of dates. Like, this is like almost serendipitous. I wasn't sure if I was gonna find some, but it was almost serendipitous. It was almost made for that shit. And I get there, and there's only one pack there, and I go to grab the pack, and I hear a voice tell me, "You don't need to give me that." And I'm like, "Why not? I wasn't that broke. I had the money for it. I didn't care. It didn't bother me at all. I had the money for it. There was only one pack there. I'm right there. I'm about to grab the thing and leave. It's right there, and I hear a voice tell me, 'No.' And I'm like, 'What?' And she's telling me, 'No, I don't need that.' I'm like, 'Why not?' 'Because I don't need that.' And I'm like, 'But there's only one pack. I might as well buy it, and I'm already there.' And she's like, she's adamant that she does not want an offering for what she did for me. So I'm like, okay. Like, something like, that's kind of weird, because she's a loving God. She would rather have your love and admiration than any kind of trinket, food, or whatever. And there are demons that are like that too. There are demons that don't care about offerings. And most demons don't really care about offerings. I mean, it's good to give some, but there's other ways to, what I mean? Like, you gotta love them. If you want to work with demons, you gotta love demons. That's the best way to work with a demon. It's not by offering, it's by loving them. The more you love a demon, the more they're gonna be around. So all that to make a paradigm here. all that to create contrast in what I'm saying as of Abel being a human being, the son of Adam and Eve, looking at this usurper fellow, asking Abel to give him his best things. And Abel being like this, you know what I mean, this goody two shoes, conformist, you know what I mean, just annoying. You know what I mean, just irritating, you know what I mean, like over the top irritating person, you know. So, and that's his brother though, but he's looking at him, and this dude every day he's like killing his best lambs, killing his best horse, killing his best everything, you know what I mean. So he's like, it gets to you, you know, and you're being punished. Because you're trying to do something real. You're trying to do a real thing. You're not trying to like Abel was taking care of business. You know what I mean? He's older. Cain is older than Abel. Cain was taking care of business. He's older than Abel. So he was trying to be human. He was trying to progress. He was trying to build something for himself. He didn't care about the usurper. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. But it's not a bad thing either, because the usurper was supposed to be there to help him become better. He wasn't there to just sit there and collect resources from him. That was not his job. So Cain was smart enough to understand that. Cain was smart enough to understand the concept of being taken advantage of. Even though that concept probably didn't exist at that time. So he was smart enough to understand he was being taken advantage of, even though he really wasn't being taken advantage of, because he already was one step ahead and he was just giving him crap. You know what I mean? Because that's what he deserved. Pardon my language. No pun intended, no offense meant. But in a sense, that's what he deserved. He deserved crap. So, because I don't have to give you nice things. If you really are a loving God, I don't have to give you shit. I don't even need to give you anything. You know, so you know you're a loving God. I'm not supposed to take advantage of you. I'm not supposed to treat you like crap. But in a sense, at the end of the day, when everything is all said and done, I don't really need to give you my best things. You know, I'm going to keep my best things to create more things. And that's how you create progress. But of course, most people are kind of like, well, if you sacrifice your best, you're going to get more out of him. If you sacrifice your best, you're going to get more out of him. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous line of thinking. No offense, no pun intended, no offense meant. Part of my language. But that's how the Aztec thought. So the Aztec, we all know what happened with them. They ended up going murder, homicidal, crazy. They were killing children, babies, you name it, they killed it. Beautiful people, beautiful men, handsome men, intelligent. They would kill the most intelligent people in their societies. They would kill geniuses. Like if a genius was born, they would kill him too. Like anything that was grandiose, like you would be treated like if you would be treated. It's like those jokes that we always see in those movies or those skits. There's people that make jokes about it. Like you end up like Indiana Jones, right? Like they see you as they kidnap you, and then they're about to cook you, and then they notice that, oh, you're super smart or you're super beautiful, and then and they're like, oh shit, okay, he's the chosen one, and then they take you off from the burning stick, right? And they put a bunch of stuff nice. They shampoo your hair. They dress you nice. You know what I mean? But they did all that shit. Yes, they're treating you like a god, and they give you all the food you want, all the women you want, all the men you want. Pardon my language. Pause. All the men you want, all the women you want, everything you want, right? But the thing you don't know is that they're only preparing you for a sacrifice. They're about to kill your ass, bro. Like, you know. So I feel like that's where that line of thinking falls down to. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna create an addiction. You're gonna become addicted to sacrificing. You know, and you're gonna try to appease your God as much as possible, and He's gonna be happy about it. You know what I mean? He's not gonna stop you. You know what I mean? He's gonna be happy about it. You know, he's gonna take all. You know what I mean? Like, so who's losing what? Who's winning what? You know what I mean? Who's really, you know what I mean, on top here? So Abel, being the intelligent man that he is, already had a bad feeling. Maybe he didn't know what was going. Maybe he didn't know that that's what was bound to happen at some point, but he felt something was wrong, obviously, because he didn't just start giving the usurper crappy food just to give him crappy food. That's just craziness. That's just insane. You know, that makes no damn sense. And Cain was working hard. He worked hard on his things. He worked hard on his farm. He worked hard, just as hard as Abel. I mean, but he wanted to do it himself. He wanted to be a man. He wanted to be a man. He didn't want to be a slave. He didn't want to owe his life to an entity. I mean, he didn't mind that I'm pretty sure he didn't mind that the entity existed. I mean, like, if you would ask Abel, would you kill God? He'd say no. You know, I think we can both live. I think we can both live, you know. But I would like a moniker of respect for the human being that I am, and I'm gonna give you a moniker of respect for the living being that you are, whoever you are, right? So that's what happened. So there's TV shows that are, there's TV shows that are, how would you say, aware of the mark of Cain and obsessed with the mark of Cain. Hollywood is obsessed with the mark of Cain. I have the mark of Cain, you know, on this arm. I don't know if it's a mark that I had since I was a kid here. I don't know if you can see it. You know, let me see if I can show you here. This mark here, and I have the mark of Cain. Like, I am one of his ilk. I can't really show it here. Hold on here. Can I hold on? Give me a second. Okay, so see this. This is not some crackhead shit. You know, this is not me having, you know, doing some fucking, you know, you can see the line here. There's a line here. If you look closely, there's a scar here, which is basically, you know, and I'm not the only one. I have met someone with the same mark on the same arm. So I know, you know, I'm a descendant. I'm a descendant of those man. I had this mark since I was a kid. You know, and it says in the Bible that people from his ilk will bear his mark. And either it's a tattoo or either it's an actual mark. So they would bear it, you know. And it's not a punishment. It's basically, that's how Cain, the people of Cain were recognized, because they all had a mark, you know, whether it's a tattoo or an actual, you know, an actual thing. Which people sometimes mistake with the mark of the beast. You know, and it's kind of weird because, well, it's not really weird because I like there's an amalgam here of, there's also the family of Set, right? Which I feel I have some connection to. You know, I feel like I have some connection to the family of Set. But I think I have Cain's bloodline in me. So I might have Set bloodline and Cain's bloodline running through my veins. I do not have Abel's bloodline. I am not from Abel. Like I'm not from Abel. I'm not from Adam. I'm from my mama. I'm from Eve. You know, I'm from Eve, Lilith, Cain, Seth. You know, and Seth is like the third son. So of course I have some of his blood in me. So he's just, you know, he's the third son. He's the son that replaced Abel. They replaced Abel with Seth. So all of us bear the mark of the beast. Whether it's a tattoo or an actual mark. So I had that since I was a kid. You know, I had that at a very, very young age. And it's funny how some things happen, you know, sometimes destiny or things like that. This was an unnecessary injury. You know, it's an injury that, you know, it was just there. You know, it shouldn't have happened. You know, it shouldn't have happened, but it happened anyways. It's very weird. So, and I have met other people with the same mark, with the same line that goes from up and down their arms, you know. And so I think that we haven't disappeared. We've always been here, you know, stigmatas and things like that, you know. So I bear the mark of the beast, you know, the so-called mark of the beast. If that is the mark of the beast, because some people mistake that. I might mistake this for the mark of the beast. You know, we don't know what the mark of the beast is, to be quite honest. To be honest, we don't know what the mark of the beast is. We're only speculating what the mark of the beast is, because there's the mark of the beast and then there's the mark of Cain. But the mark of Cain is technically the mark of the beast too. You know, so it's very confusing. It's very confusing. It's contradictory. You know. Then there's probably people around town right now that bear the mark of the beast, but they're probably not aware what the mark of the beast is, because the beast is bad, it's evil, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Whatever. Like I said, and I'm explaining this for all you people that might be afraid of being a Red Lantern. You don't need to be afraid to be a Red Lantern. You don't need to be afraid to be a Red Lantern, because being a Red Lantern means you're a free man. The mark of the beast represents freedom. The mark of Cain represents freedom. And it's funny because I was looking at Supernatural. And in Supernatural, I think there's one of the seasons where the whole entire season is like Dean, not Sam and Dean Winchester. Those are the two main characters of the show. And I think towards it lasted for a good, it's a long story arc. Like the mark of the beast is a very long story arc in Supernatural, the TV show. And so I guess I'm a guess and say season 8 or season 7, starting from season 8, season 7, Dean ends up having the mark of the beast on his arm because he wanted to save his brother from hell, and the only way to go to hell, the only way for him to be powerful enough to be able to kill demons and walk in hell is for him to have had the mark on the beast on him. So he ends up having the mark on the beast. And if you look closely, it kind of looks like an F. F for freedom. You know how, like, Hollywood always hiding the truth in plain sight and stuff? I feel like, you know what I mean? Because it does look like an F. You know, it looks like F. Freedom, F. So it's interesting. And it's interesting that also in the show he bears the mark on his arm. Just like I do. And I think it's the same arm too. And like I said, I've seen one more person with that same mark on their arm, on the same arm as me. It was a woman though. She was cool. I'm not gonna say more than that. I'm not gonna say more than that, but she was cool. Anyways, so yeah, man. Welcome to the dark side, my friend. Welcome to the dark side. So I feel like this is the reason why I feel like people should, stop listening to a lot of stuff nowadays, cause shit is getting real, and you're wasting your time listening to nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, you already have power. You don't need to listen to half of these people. Like, 70% of these people you don't need to listen to. A Waterboy, you don't need to listen to Waterboy, because Waterboy is gonna drown you. He's gonna drown you, bro. Like, if you listen to, he's gonna drown everybody. All those guys, they're gonna drown your ass in bullshit, and they're basically gonna rock you to sleep. So they're gonna rock you to sleep, bro. You're gonna fall dead asleep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, drool and everything, you know what I mean? Like sleep. Like hard sleep, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like, but hey, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I'm not going to, me personally, I'm not gonna skip all of that stuff. I think that's why I'm here for, to not skip it this time, because I think the last time I did skip it, because I am aware of my past lives, and I'm also aware that I am repeating some of the things that I've done in my past life. But I'm also, because I'm aware that I'm repeating things that I've done in my past life, I'm also trying to transcend those things. And I can only do it through the darkness. I can only do it through the ascended masters. I can only do it through the Aldrich monsters. I can only do it through the Cthulhu mythos. I can only do it through the Necronomicon. I can only do it through the devil himself. I can only do it through Lilith. I can only do it through Lucifer. That's why I'm here for, because I have to stop repeating the same nonsense that I was being before. And in order to transcend my past life, I must be aware of the truth. So as you become aware of the truth, you will become stronger. And this is why I'm strong. This is why I am capable. This is why I have all this spiritual power, because I am literally on the road to transcending my past mistakes, my karma, the things that I do repetitively, unconsciously or consciously. So, let me be the first to welcome you to the Red Lantern Corps. let me be the first to welcome you to the Red Lantern Corps, man. Welcome. And you're welcome. Yeah. We're gonna have a grand old time. We're gonna have a grand old time. Yeah, I kind of messed up my cigarette there. Give me a second here, man. Damn. Okay. So, this video is too damn long. I think I said enough. Or maybe I said too much. Or maybe I didn't say enough. Who knows? We can keep talking about this. We can keep talking about this. I'm researching it right now. Because in order to have the energy, I must know the energy. So I'm researching this right now. I'm getting involved in it right now. We can talk about this if you want or not. The big thing about the state of my channel, I would say not, because this is scary shit. You know, it's scary shit. Like it's not, you know, it's not it's scary shit. You know, like so. But I like power. I'm a man that always like power, and I like progress. I like power because power enables progress. If you want to progress, you gotta have power. Period. And that's at the end of the day. So yeah, man, I'm gonna stop the video here. Wish you guys the best. Welcome to the Red Lantern Corp. I see you guys later. And I am pandering to your inner child by saying Red Lantern Corp. But you have to understand this is something that needs to be taken seriously. When I say Red Lantern Corp, I am not kidding. Because there's a lot of power there. So, yeah. Have a good one. Peace out. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Peace.